everybody. Hi, welcome. Tuesday, volume. Homework is even all. All the evens. All the 2, 4, 6, 8, ... Oh, which reminds me. Let me go over 2 problems on your homework. Because I don't want you to leave it blank or make a mistake. So, number 2 says, write an equivalent expression for negative 2x, parentheses, k plus 5. Equivalent. What does equivalent mean? Equal. Equivalent just means equal. Expression means a problem. So here, whenever you have something outside the parentheses, we're just going to distribute. You're just going to distribute. What's negative 2 times k?
Negative 2k.
Exactly. Okay? So it looks harder than what it is. Here's another problem that I'm going to assign to you that looks harder than what it is. So another distributed property, what number am I going to distribute here?
6.
No, what numbers? No.
2.
No.
1.5.
1.5. So the number that's outside is 1.5. 6 is your problem number. So 1.5. So I'm going to take half and give it to everybody. I'm going to take half. So if I take away half from 4, what is left over? 2. So what is half of 4x? 2x. What's half of 6y? 3y. So they make it look really hard, and really it's like, oh, I'm just taking half of those 2 numbers. That's it. Okay, those are the only 2 problems that might trick you on that. Okay, volume of a triangular prism. All right, here, there's my tent. There's my standing up tent. There was high winds and the tent flew away. Okay, does anybody remember from 6th grade how do I find the volume of a triangular prism?
Base times height divided by, divided by 2.
Uh-huh, that's the area. So you're actually halfway there. So if I find the area of a triangle is what Kevin just told me. Base times height divided by 2. But that's for the area. How do I make the area transform into volume?
Times width.
Not times width. It's going to be times the height. Now I can see where you can think it's the width, but it's technically how tall is the actual 3D figure. Okay, how tall. So are we on page 5? Yes, everybody's on page 5? Yes.
5?
No, 6. No, 4. Oh, everybody's on page 4. Everybody's writing this down. Okay. So to find volume, you take the area of the triangle, and you're going to multiply it by your height. Now notice that I capitalized the H. I did capitalize the H. That means that I would like you to multiply by how tall this prism is. How tall is this tent? But the tent's standing up. So the trick is this, make it standing up. So how tall is this tent if I make it stand up?
9 feet.
9. That's where I get the height. I understand where you might think it's the width, but mathematically it's technically the height. Okay, we're good? Okay, let's look at example number 1. So I'm going to write the formula again. Volume is equal to base times height, little h, divided by 2 times your big height, So we're going to write the formula again. Okay, now let's look at the triangle. So this is just the triangle part, okay? This part is your triangle part. So I'm going to cover up this. I'm looking just at your triangle. Let me make sure it's in the frame. Okay. What's the base of my triangle? What's the base?
3.
Where's 3? Donde?
There's 3 sides.
What number represents the base?
The 6.
The 6. You have to make sure I ask the question correctly. That's my base. Now, that's this base right there. This B, the base. What's the height of my triangle part?
4.
4. So this, how tall is my triangle?
4.
4. So that would be my little h. So that right there is my little h, my little height. The 5, it's just there to confuse you. The 5 is just there to confuse you. You'll need it for something else. You won't need it for volume. Okay. So I just looked at my triangle. My base is 6 and my height is 4. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay, now I look at my 3D shape. Now I make it 3D. And this H is how tall is my 3D part. So how tall is my 3D part?
9 feet.
9. So that number is my big H. Big H. So this is my little h, my little b, and this is my big height. How tall is my prism? All right, now that I identified all the numbers, I'm going to plug them in. All right, what's my little base? 6 times, what's my little height? 4 divided by 2 times, what's my big height? 9. Okay, so what did I just do here? I plugged in the numbers where the letters are. What's my base? 6. What's my little h? 4. And I got to divide it by 2 because it's a triangle. And then I'm going to multiply it by my height. We good? Everybody okay? All right. What's 6 times 4?
24.
24 divided by 2 times 9. What's 24 divided by 2?
12.
What's 12 times 9?
108.
Nice. Very nice. So 12 times 9, which you guys have it in your memory box. Love that. Volume is equal to 108. Now, what are my units?
Feet squared.
No.
Feet, 3.
3.
Squared. No.
Cubed. Or to the power of 3. So make sure you write all this down. So 6 times 4 divided by 2 times 9. 24 divided by 2 is 12. And then 12 times 9. Okay. It seems like a lot of work, but I don't think the math is like terribly difficult at all. It's not. Especially if you know what 12 times 9 is. All right, now let's look at this triangle. Okay, so I'm gonna write. I'm looking for base times height divided by 2 times your big H. I'm looking for your base, your little height, and then your big height. Okay, so I'm gonna cover up my 3D shape and just look at my triangle part. Just looking at my triangle. What number represents the base? 3. So let's put a little b so I know that, hey, that's my base right there. What number represents the height of the triangle?
4.
Notice how I covered this up, right? I'm just looking at the triangle part. The height would be 4. My little height of my little triangle. So the base is 3 and the height is 4. Do I get to do anything with that 5? No. It's there to trick you. Don't get tricked. Okay? Now I make it 3D, Carmen. Now it's 3D. What's the height of my 3D shape? 7. So this is your big height. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Okay, now we got to plug it in. So first I just look at the triangle part. What's the base? What's the height of just my triangle? Then I figure out the height of the whole prism. All right, let's plug it in. What's my little b? 3. What's my height? 4 divided by 2 times my big height of 7. So I plug in my numbers. 3 times 4 divided by 2 times 7. Write it down. Very good. Now I do the math. What's 3 times 4?
12.
Divided by 2 times 7.
6, 7.
Oh. Volume is equal to 42 what?
Inches cubed. Let me 3 cubed.
Inches cubed. 42 inches cubed. So again, if you just walked in right now and saw this, you might think it's extremely hard. But I'm hoping that, like, hey, you identify the numbers, plug them in, and the math is not that hard. 4 times 3, 12. 12 divided by 2, 6. If they give you these type of numbers, I don't think they'll give you a calculator, because the numbers are pretty easy. If they give you really hard numbers, then they'll give you a calculator. I don't think they'll give you a formula, though. So you got to memorize the formula. All right, are we okay? Let's try. Okay. Let me show you how I want you to show work on these problems.
Call me Uber, miss.
What?
Call me Uber.
Never heard that. Is that the new thing? Okay. What's my base?
10.
What's my little height?
14.
What's my big height?
19.
Good. The good thing about these problems is that there's no number that's trying to trick you. All the numbers that you're going to need are there. Okay, what two numbers do I multiply?
Base times height.
Base times height, which is 10 times 14 divided by 2. What do kids always forget to do? Divide by 2. So make sure that you're dividing by 2. You wrote it down. So you take these two numbers and you're going to multiply them and then divide by 2. Then the last thing you're going to do is multiply by 19. All right. Let's figure out. Do you guys want to use my calculators or yours? I'll take them out. If you want to use yours, you can.
I have one on my wrist.
Fantastic.
Yeah, me too. But you know what? I'll use yours.
Thanks. All right. I'm going to use these in a minute, huh? All right. What am I going to type in first?
10 times 14.
10 times 14. Done.
140.
140. Then what?
Divided by 2.
Do I have to erase this number?
No.
No.
70.
So you can take the number that's already there and then just hit divide by 2. You get 70. Am I done?
Nope. No.
Then you got to hit the times button. 19. 19.
1330 inches cubed.
So you do it. Do you get the same answer I do? You got to go through the process because don't just copy the answer. You got to go through and you're like, oh yeah, look, my calculator showed the same answer. Inches cubed. All right. Let's do number 2 and let's see if we all get the same answer. First, you got to show me work though. Base, height, big height.
Which one's the big height?
Big height's the big prism part.
So a 5?
Yeah. So this one's like a short one.
I was just kind of getting confused.
So 18 times 17, base times height of your triangle, times your big height. So I wrote this problem out. I'm going to show my work even though I'm using a calculator. I still have to show what I'm multiplying. 18 times 17 divided by 2 times 5. Type it into the calculator. Just because you have a calculator doesn't mean you're going to get it right. You got to make sure you know how to use a calculator.
What number do we stop at?
Since you're using a calculator, you're probably going to do the whole page.
Oh, okay.
Are we done with number 2? So I can see if your answer matches my answer and my answer matches your answer. So type in 18 times 17. What'd you guys get?
765 feet cubed.
Very good. Cubed. You do it. Don't copy my answers. Figure out, can I do this by myself? Can I type in these numbers and get this answer? All right. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, look at me working like my students. How do you do number 4? Oh, you're going to get a decimal. It's cool. So it's 7 times 5, right? 35. Then you're going to hit the calculator. 35 divided by 2. What's 35 divided by 2?
17.5.
17.5. That's cool. And then you're going to multiply it by your height, which is 9.
Wow, is she working like us?
Yeah, well, I got to get an answer key for us.
Miss, can you check me?
Same.
Big, big numbers, miss. See that?
Oh, just the last thing. The answer is no. Yes. All right. Number 2. What shape do I get for number 2?
Rectangle.
A rectangle. So if you sketch out, it's a pretty skinny rectangle.
Triangle.
Number 3, what shape?
Triangle.
It's going to be a triangle. Number 4,
Triangle.
but what kind of right triangle? Did anybody see?
Oh, right
A
triangle.
right triangle. Look at Dominic. Right triangle. All right, number 5. I did see a lot of mistakes on number 5.
A rectangle.
It is a rectangle. It's not a triangle. It is a rectangle. If I were to slice it the other way, it would be a triangle. But since I sliced it like this, parallel, it's a rectangle.
A triangle.
All right, number 6 is a triangle. Number 7.
Square.
Okay.
A trapezoid.
Trapezoid.
Yeah. This one's a trapezoid.
A rectangle.
And the last one's a rectangle. Someone said a square, and I'm like, it's true. It could be also be a square. All right. Don't throw this one away. I have another sheet that goes with this one, and then you'll turn it in. Once you get this one, see how this one's different? Once you get this one, then I'll have you turn it in. All right. There's plenty of time left. Can you pass in all the calculators, please? Gently. We need these to last us for years to come. All the calculators come to you.
Miss, I put your pencil back.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Even. All even.
Did we get the homework? I don't think we got it.
I forget my favorite student. Okay, but you all forgot about the two on the back.
I correct myself.
Dominic?
Miss. Miss.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're so nice.
No, he was just making Nicely, Jacob. Yay, wonderful student.
Because I think like when he first like the student like then and after I got all of them right.
Yay, I'm glad. I'm so happy. What? I don't have the other one. I got all that. There's some right there if you need an extra one. Careful. I don't want to run into a crash. That way. Maybe you can buy my new iPhone 16.
Is it like 20 on the top and then is actually one
Alright, we have like a 9-minute break before
Student teacher. Miss. Miss Melly.
yes. Leave it right there in the file. Okay, if you want to use the restroom, perfect time.
There's only one missing. Oh shoot! Like, 3P Real Madrid. Look, 3P Real Madrid, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's a rat. Miss, this is a rat. Miss.
No, you don't. Stop. It's gonna keep watch.
They're pretty,
You
by
see?
now they're pretty
You see?
okay.
You just click.
I had one student come in like,
No,
is there anything from Vietnam? But most of them are from Latin America. Really? It's okay. I don't trend
Miss, this is a rat.
I trend to off of the
Miss, this is a
here
rat.
and there.
No balls yet.
This is a man. This is
Yeah.
a rat.
There's a what?
This is a rat.
There's a rat?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Look.
Ah! It's scary. Keep my rat alone.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Yeah.
And it's oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So students with like disabilities, they'll get an IEP to accommodate and modify things in order for them to succeed in class. So they're in with all general ed population. Like, oh, sometimes they just need extra time on assignment, or sometimes they need to be more visual than auditory. A lot of it's auditory. Like if you just say everything, they don't process it. So you have to write it, and then they'll go, oh, okay, I can somewhat understand what you're saying, but once I see it written, I understand it completely. While some students are all auditory. Like I can say, hey, take your base and multiply by your height. And they're, oh, okay, base times height, cool. And those kids are like base times height, and they're like, what? So they're, oh, base. And so you write it down, and they're processing it. So they just some disabilities is processing too. So we have a mixture. So that's second period. I have a handful of those kids, and in period 1 I have one. The reason I tell you is because when you're observed, they will always ask you, do you have any students with special needs? Do you have students that are English learners? Third period I have English learners plus newcomers. So there are some students that have been born here, but their first language wasn't English. Their home language was something different, right? So then kids to realize, like, hey, the reason you're taking this test is because supposedly you don't know English. And some kids will look at you and be like, but I don't know any other language. Exactly. What are you still missing? Are you still missing the writing part? Are you still missing the reading part or the speaking? Because sometimes what we saw is like the kids will not take this test seriously, so they won't write a complete sentence. So they won't write a complete paragraph. And it's like, hello.
Today you want to give me like the other work yesterday.
Do you
I
want
want the simple work, not. I want
the simple
easy.
one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Are you going to practice writing first, or do you want math first? Math?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Let me start now.
okay.
Yeah. I don't want this one to come. I want to start now. I finished.
Okay. Are you going to do 5 worksheets today?
I think 3.
3? Okay. Let me get those ready for you.
You're going to do the other one from there.
Yeah, I'm going to print it. You're going to get it from there? Hi.
Like,
Who's that?
Are you related? Is that you're the sister? Ah, I've heard there's a sister out there.